Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cheesecake Chino's headquarters by yours truly, Cheesecake Chino's. Today I'm going to show you how to make some raspberry sauce from scratch, because we're here. We don't open up packages or ketchup bottles and start squeezing it on cakes. We make everything from scratch, and it's real easy, except for the straining part, but I'm going to get to that. So stay tuned, Cheesecake Chino's. So the first thing we're going to need for the raspberry sauce is, guess what? Raspberries. And whether they're regular ones or organic, for me it don't make a difference. It's still gonna come out the same. Just you gotta wash them, regardless. Even if they're organic, I don't trust the fact that it has a label that says, oh, organic or triple wash, quadruple wash. Give it a little bath and I'll show you how. So we're making a one-time batch. This right here says 12 ounces, so half of this is 6 ounces. So between 6 and 7 ounces, that's what I'll do. So what I'm gonna do is use half of this, and of course when you shop for raspberry, make sure there's no molds, because we have some moldless raspberry sauce. Very important. And that comes from humidity. So use half of that. We're gonna rinse it a little bit. Now do just the same way I do with my strawberries. Just in case there's some little parasites or anything else going on, just put a little salt. Now, you don't want to over salt it, but at the end of the day, it don't make a difference, because all you're doing is just washing it. Here at Cheesecake Chino's, we do nothing but fresh, clean fruits. So I'm about to give it a little bath real quick. No head and shoulders. All right, so now I got to rinse in some water. I move it around a little bit, but raspberries are more delicate than strawberries. So you don't want to like give this a deep tissue massage, because next thing you know, you're going to be making a raspberry sauce which is salty and in the metal bowl and watery. You don't want that. So just do a nice little movement. Make sure the salt gets dispersed in there with the water. Make sure all the dirt's coming out, everything else, but not too hard, but like I said, it's very delicate. I already see some of the raspberry falling apart, and look how slow I'm doing it. So that's how we're doing right now. Now we're gonna drain it. Now I usually drain it with the sink. I go like this, or you could do it with a strainer, either way. All right, now we got our freshly washed raspberries, no salt, no dirt, no parasites, no fungus, no evilness, nothing but pure raspberries. Now I'm gonna put this in the pot real quick. If you're only doing a one-time batch, you could just save this, wash it the same way, and then put it in the freezer. Fruits go good in the freezer because they don't go bad, they don't get old, unless you haven't stored it for 50 years. That's a different story. But if you want to store it for a couple months, hey, why not? Pop it in the freezer, that way it's gonna go to waste. All right, so right here I got all my ingredients. I got this portable stove, aka induction cooker. You can get some as cheap as Marketplace, Facebook. I got a whole bunch of the joints over there. I got like 3 or 4 of them. But if you want a brand new one, they go up to $150 to $200. They all do the same things. You don't have to have something super fancy. And the purpose of this is just in case you're in a kitchen that is not really a kitchen like this place right here. Don't have no vents. But I am allowed to cook some jams and sauces and sugary stuff, so this is perfect. And I got 4 of those, so I can line them up on a busy day and get it going. So anyway, back to the point is that we have this pot. Since this is a one-time batch, I don't need a big one. Put it on level. Each induction cooker has a different type of intensity, but you in a regular kitchen stove, I would say put it in a medium heat, medium low. Put your raspberries in there, almost the strawberries. They're cousins, both berries. And you will put, remember 6 ounces of raspberries freshly washed. You put a half a cup of water. And you put 3/4 of a cup of sugar. All right. Now, if you're like me, I like to get every single drop of the crop. Nothing goes to waste. Put that to the side, get your water, ready to rock and roll. Now, it's this cooker, I like to mix it up, and I get a skinny whisk. Not the wide ones, because I feel with the skinny whisk, you can hit up the corners a little bit, because as this starts cooking, you want to get every single space moving, because let's say I move in the center, well, the size of cooking is going to get stuck to the pot, so you're going to have half burnt and half properly cooked raspberry sauce. So I got the little skinny whisk. I have another one that's a little bit wider, so I don't have to be as skinny. That's my preference. Of course, it depends on the size of the yield, the bag, and everything else. So mix it up a little bit, and it's gonna start cooking in no time. One annoying occurrence that happens is sometimes I leave it right here and it just goes whoop, because it's small. So what I do sometimes, I leave it like that. It's fine. This is a different type of cooking I'm showing you. I'm showing you like get by, but do what I gotta do cooking. So get used to this. Let it cook. It'll probably take about 3 minutes to start bubbling. We'll get to it. For the meantime, you have your vanilla ready, which is a half a teaspoon of vanilla, and you have 12 grams of butter. And why is it a little parchment paper? Because I don't feel like washing dishes today. So I just put this, I put on, tear, it does the same thing. And just dispose it when I'm done. Also have 3 teaspoons of cornstarch. Now with the water, I put very little just to coat the cornstarch, not much. See, that's good enough. Looks like milk, but it's not. Big difference. So from there, get a fork. Start mixing up a little bit. All the wrist. All the wrist productions. All right, cool. So we got that. We put that to the side. So we got our cornstarch ready. We have our butter ready, our vanilla. And we got motivation, which is the most important ingredient in this whole operation. Raspberry sauce. Remember, 6 ounces, 1 time yield. So we're starting to boil real fast. These things work really good. Put it right there so it won't fall. And if you're impatient, you just want to get this done fast, you can just get more high, level 4, which is medium high. 5 is nuke. 6 is nuclear. 7 is volcanic. 8 is explosive. 9 is yikes. 10 is better run for your life. But let's put it back to 3 because that's what we're trying to do. But look how fast this is cooking. Now you want to keep this moving because it's going to bubble up, and maybe I should have got more of a deep pot. So if you're in a situation where this is the only thing you have in your kitchen, you better get this thing moving. And worst comes to worst, it starts bubbling up, I would just turn it off. Which might have to happen here. See, I'm showing you the hard way of doing it. So if you have a stove and you have a heavy advantage than me right now. I'm the one teaching you. That's crazy, right? Get the sides too, just in case. Remember what I said about things sticking to the pot? You don't want that. Keep mixing it up. This takes a lot of patience, and patience is something that I never had too much of, but now I do. You got no other option. Running a business, everything gotta come out good. I had to turn it off a little bit because it was too bubbly, but now I'm back at it. But like I said, if you have an electrical stove or a stove at home, you wouldn't have to do that. You just have to put low, medium. Not medium low, because medium low is like medium, but a fourth the way to the high. Back in action, bubbling again. You guys gotta keep mixing. That's it. Make this with love. You know, a chef always told me that you could tell how a cook, how passionate they are about their cooking by their knife skills. So if somebody gives me a plate of pasta and I just see the onions, big chunks like this, small chunks like this everywhere, I could tell the chef didn't give a damn. They just want to chop it up with the eyes closed, throw it in the pot, and that's that. When I see all the onions perfectly uniform and cut the same size, because the chef really wants it to come out. But I feel like with pastry world, the way you do your sauce is the same way. The way I make my sauces is with passion and with patience. So if I have to be here whisking this for 5 minutes, hey, so be it. It's fine. Even if I had a big pot, it's still recommended to do a little whisking here and there because you don't want this stuff to stick. So here I'm continuing to let it boil for about a good 5 minutes. Not too much. Let the sugar caramelize with the sugars of the raspberry. Let them dance in a medallic manner to give you this sauce that you've been dreaming about all night. Like you put on all types of stuff. You put on ice cream, some cakes, you put on toast, whatever it is. Actually, I'm going to show you something talking about toast in a little bit. Keep that in mind. So as this is simmering, I'm going to check on my starch water. All the starch fell to the bottom. Just mix it again with the fork. Boom. Ready. Now look at this raspberry sauce. See how it's bubbling? It's bubbling differently. Before it was bubbling like it was watery. Now it's bubbling like it's glazy. This is what you want. So now that's how you know it's time to take this off and go to the next level. We're gonna strain it because I don't know if you want seeds in your raspberry. If you like to have seeds stuck between your gum line, don't do what I'm about to do. But if you want some smooth, silky raspberry sauce, and do what I'm about to do. Get a strainer, but of one that's really small and thin. Not the ones that you just strain pasta with, because the seeds are gonna go right through. But make sure you get a finely meshed one. You can put it in a bowl, in a container, whatever you want, and just start pouring it down. Look at all them seeds. Evil. Now, I don't have time to be waiting here for 5 hours. So what I do is I get a spoon and I start pressing it. And see how it comes out when I move it around? Just go like this. This is probably one of the most time-consuming parts of making this raspberry sauce. Alright, so after you mix it up for a little bit, this will take up to 3 to 2 minutes. You actually look what you just formed, unintentionally. You just formed some raspberry jelly. You can spread this on some toast, and it's delicious, and it's homemade. No preservatives. Now I'll put the rest of this in here. Nothing goes to waste, and that's how my best friend spatula comes through. Seedless, moldless, harmless raspberry sauce made from scratch at your kitchen. See, I have nothing in the pot left, but I'm going to put it all back in there. But right now I have this remaining. I'm going to make more raspberry jelly. Sometimes I like to scrape the bottom because look, everything sticks to the bottom. Whoop. Boom. Get everything. Look at the color. This looks beautiful. All right, so now we have everything strained, and we got some raspberry jelly. Now you can either eat this how it is, spread it onto the toast. But look at that. It looks beautiful. And raspberry seed is actually good for you. So minus the sugar, it's actually a healthy snack. So now I have everything. I'm gonna put this in the dish because I don't need it no more. I got my raspberry sauce. I'm gonna pour it back in the pot. We're gonna continue this whole quest and make raspberry sauce. There you go. Eventually we're gonna put this back here anyway. So that's why I use this container. Once again, I'm not a fan of washing dishes unless I have to. Boom. Put this on the side, turn it back on. We are at the final stages of finally making this raspberry sauce. Mix it up a little bit. Look at the color, look at the difference compared to when you first put it. It's a little more darker because the sugar caramelizes with the fruit. Makes it more syrupy, makes it different color, more rich. Not watery. You don't want watery sauce. Alright, so you see in the beginning at first it was watery, now it's all syrupy, caramelly. We strained the seeds out of it so you don't have to have some organic flaws to your teeth with some seeds stuck in it. It's nice, silky, smooth, just how we want it. So you see how fast it started boiling again after you strained it. It doesn't take that long. And it's, look at, this is what you want to see right here. So now what you do is you put your vanilla. Keep mixing up a little bit more. And don't forget, we have this starch water, which if it's been sitting for a while, you want to mix it up a little bit. So now I got to mix it up again. Real good. So depending on how syrupy the raspberry sauce is, you might not have to use this whole thing. Remember, this is 3 teaspoons of cornstarch and just a little bit of water to cover it. So half a teaspoon of vanilla, 12 grams of butter, 3 teaspoons of sparkle, a little bit of water, 3 teaspoons of cornstarch. So after you mix it up a little bit, boom, you see it bubbling. Mix it just a little bit. Put half of it and see what happens. Now check this out. Check this out. I think it's about done. And give a little bit more. You don't want to make the raspberry sauce too thick to where it's like plaster. You don't want to have it too watery. You want to have it right in between. That's why I wouldn't recommend to dump the whole water. Go by what you see. Another way I test it out is just get the whisk and see how it sticks to if it holds. It's not holding quite, but it still looks pretty caramelized. So now I'm gonna put half of this. So basically I'm gonna put a fourth of the whole serving that I had. Just a little bit. Mix it up real well, because remember, cornstarch clumps up. You don't want to have clumps in the sauce. So if you're good, whew, keep mixing it up. Put a little bit more. You know, I put the whole thing. See? So that's why it's always safe, because sometimes things don't come out the same. So that's why even if I religiously put the same ingredients, I still precautiously incorporate them in the recipe. Because what if the cornstarch magically is more strong that day? I don't want to have no clumpy raspberry sauce. So now, there you have it. Raspberry sauce. So what we do from there, I put the 12 grams of butter, and mix it up, and this is gonna add the richness to it. And keep mixing it up real well. Look at the consistency. This is perfect. This is what you call raspberry sauce. Not that squeeze a bottle type of thing that a lot of restaurants, a lot of places offer. But here at Cheesecake Chinos, everything is fresh. Look at that right there. Look at the glaze. You can see yourself, right? Look, you don't need a mirror no more. All you need is my raspberry sauce that you can make too at your house when you have plenty of time. And there you have it, raspberry sauce by yours truly. Let it cool down a little bit. It should be good to go. I put mine in a container and let it cool down after that. Boom. Remember, Spags is your best friend. You want to get every drop of the crop. There you have it. Raspberry sauce made by your boy, yours truly, Cheesecake Chino. Stay tuned for another episode. Always test your product. That's what I'm talking about right there. Wait, you thought I was gonna leave you just like that? Like, hey, here's how you make the raspberry sauce. Have a nice life. I'll see you never. Nah, that's not how we do it at Cheesecake Chinos. So here's the finishing product, and it came out borderline too thick, but it still came out right. So I probably should have used a fourth of that cup less of cornstarch. So it was a little deceiving. But if it gets more thicker than this, the best thing I recommend is put it in some hot water, purified of course. You want to use the faucet water, and then mix it up little by little. That's all you gotta do. But don't put too much water because you're gonna dilute the richness of the raspberry sauce. Then you have to recook it with some sugar and all types of stuff. But this is what we have. The finished product, raspberry sauce. I must actually dress up a cheesecake right now. Somebody's gonna pick it up. They want a 10-piece, so I'll give it to them right now. Boom. Now, being that raspberry sauce is rich, you don't want to smother it too much. Because I'm giving you lessons. I'm giving you the finale, not just to the sauce, but how the product's gonna look like on a cheesecake. If you're making a cheesecake, if you got ice cream, you can pour the ice cream. I can't show you that because I don't have it with me, right? Look how nice that consistency is. It's borderline thick. You don't want it too thick because, like I said, it's gonna be like concrete. This is considered a teaspoon. I like using these because they have more leverage. They're not too short, not too long. They're just right. I can maneuver it better. Sometimes I can even decorate cakes with this little spoon right here, and I got a whole bunch of them. Special thanks to the previous tenant that was here. She left me a whole bunch. I don't know what these are called, long teaspoons, but that's what it is. So now I'm gonna spread it up real quick. You see nothing but richness in this cheesecake. Cheesecake's already rich enough. Anytime I put like a sauce on a cheesecake, if the sauce is rich, I don't smother it. The trick to me decorating my cakes is that not only do they gotta look good, but they gotta taste good. And they gotta taste like it makes sense. So if I have a sauce that's very rich, I'm gonna put very little. If I have a sauce that's very mild, I'm gonna smother it with it. Look like just look like it's skinny dipped in the sauce or something. So that's how I do it, and that's how you should too. And how you guests at home or your coworkers, whoever you're doing this stuff for, be like, wow, this is amazing. How'd you do it? Godwin's Goddamn Cheesecake channels on YouTube. You know, follow his Instagram page, website, his Facebook. He's all over the place. You check him out, subscribe, and like his video too. That's what you say, at least. Alright, we almost done. I know the video was long, but when I show people things, I like to explain them down to the T. Like, everything, every detail. That way there's no excuses of why you can't do the same thing. There you go. I do see no seeds. Seedless raspberry sauce. That's what you want. Still got a whole bunch more. There you have it. Boom. Raspberry sauce from scratch. There should be no reason why you don't know how to make it. If you got any questions, leave it in the comments, message me, reach me on Facebook, Instagram. This is one out of the many recipes I'm going to show you. So my cheesecake recipe, you're going to pay $1 billion for that. But raspberry sauce, really simple. And voila, here's what you have. I call it the Razzy Fresh. Stay tuned for another episode of Cheesecake Chinos, whether it's my news network episode, or it's me showing you something, or me just dropping some culinary juice. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. Peace.